Hey, welcome to Unit 4 of the Bible Read-Along Plan with the E100 text, these 100 essential texts that can give you a good overview of the Bible as you're new to reading the Scripture or getting refamiliarized with it. Remember, with this plan, no matter when you are on this unit, you are on time. You can do this daily, you can do this 4 or 5 days a week, you can do it a couple of days a week, you can do it whenever you want to do it. Just stay with it, because that's where you're going to see the benefit. So pace yourself, adjust your expectations, feel good about what's being accomplished. I hope you're getting a picture of how the story of the Bible really unfolds. There's a lot of history in the Bible. The Old Testament just has lots and lots of detail, but it's all part of a bigger story that leads from creation to corruption as humans rebel against God, to the covenant where God calls Israel to be a blessing to the nations, to Christ who fulfills that blessing, leading to us, the church, and ultimately leading to the completion of all things when Christ returns and brings the fullness of God's reign. So this unit is going to be about Moses and the Exodus. This is the foundational experience for Israel and very important to the Bible story because it shows how God is king of the world, yet uses his power not the way we expect kings do. He operates differently than the world's kings. He doesn't enslave people the way Pharaoh does, but he liberates them. And he is going to show himself to be superior to other gods in this process. For Israel, it's going to answer the questions, who are we? And how did all of this come about that we happen to be the people of God who now live in the land where we are? So since the time of Joseph, time has passed, Israel has grown, and a Pharaoh who forgot all about Joseph has arisen, and now Israel is enslaved to do the work of the Pharaoh in building great monuments to his power. The Pharaoh fears the numbers of the Israelites, and they're being saved by their midwives who are hiding them while the Pharaoh is ordering that all the male children be killed. Moses is going to be cast onto the river Nile by his mother in hopes that God will protect him, and he does, and brings him, ironically enough, to the household of Pharaoh. So Moses is raised in the Pharaoh's household, but discovers his origins, tries to settle a dispute between an Israelite and an Egyptian when he realizes that he is himself an Israelite, and ends up, because of that, having to flee to the desert where he's in hiding for 40 years. But there, God calls him famously in the burning bush, tells him that he is going to liberate the people of Israel, and announces himself as the great I Am. Then God sends the plagues on Egypt, and those plagues aren't just disasters for Egypt. They're things that undermine the very things that the Egyptians witness, until finally, at the end, there's a plague on the firstborn of Egypt, just as the Pharaoh had tried to wipe out the Israelites by having the children killed. So there's going to be something like that in a terrible way, God brings on the Egyptians. Finally, the Pharaoh, but only briefly, lets the Israelites go. And in the famous episode, he leads them across the Red Sea, where the Egyptian army is finally defeated. So you see how in all of this, God is demonstrating his power, fighting for his people, but in a way that defies the way that the great empire of the time, the empire of Egypt, is operating. So this is what you're going to be reading in the 5 readings of this unit. I hope you find this stimulating. I hope it enlightens you. I hope it helps you get past, maybe the 10 Commandments, which is kind of a cheesy movie now in retrospect, or even the Prince of Egypt, which I kind of like, but still has a way of sort of distorting some of the story. So enjoy your reading, and let us know how you're doing. Send us a message when you can about how it's going or any questions that you might have.